Yo, BMW be smoking that heron pack. So I just want to preface this video with BMW is one of my favorite car brands of all time. Not only have I grown up with this brand, I think everyone in my family has owned a 3 Series at some point. My dad had an E92 M3 growing up. You know, they've made some of my favorite cars of all time. Let's not forget about the E60 V10 M5. The E46 M3, the E30 M3. You know, the list goes on and on and on of, with the cars that I one day aspired to own from this brand. You know, growing up, BMW were just such a cool brand as a kid. For a few reasons as well, like their F1 involvement. You know, even though they were a little bit shit. Just the fact they were involved, with such an iconic period of F1. As a kid, you just see an F1 car with a BMW badge and you're just well,
can't go fast.
But what that does for the brand outside of that is huge. The movie tie-ins, with the 007 Z8 and, the actual movies they made with the one stunt car driver guy in the M5s. I remember seeing those online at a really young age. Those had a big impact on me. And do I have to even begin on the Most Wanted GTR, probably one of the most iconic cars in media of all time? Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. But I think it's absolutely safe to say that BMW are a shell of their former self.
With openness, BMW approached their new vision vehicle by questioning the status quo. Let's have a look what this vision looks like in the real world.
But I do truly feel BMW is one of those companies that, in the modern age, that is losing their soul. Companies like Porsche, Toyota, Nissan, they have a balance of selling cars, but then also pleasing the enthusiasts. I feel like BMW are the complete opposite of that. The designs and grills are a big part of it, but I think it honestly goes so much deeper than that. I want to say that I'm not arguing the dynamics of, some of the new M cars or those kind of things. Instead, I'm kind of talking about intent and the general direction BMW are taking. And I think the BMW XM is it kind of defines these issues to me. As we go into a new age of not just BMW, but just cars in general. The first plug-in hybrid BMW N performance car, in your head, you think that would be an M3 or an M4. I believe AMG's first plug-in hybrid was a GT63, and that's going to be Mercedes, statement of intent. Let's put it that way. BMW's first plug-in hybrid is going to be a rumored 2,700 kilogram Urus contender. In what world does that make any sense? I think that says absolutely everything about their intentions going forward. And I also understand the decision in terms of they need to sell cars and SUVs are what currently sell in the car market. But I also don't understand how your leading M car can be an almost 3-ton SUV. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that goes against almost everything that sports cars stand for in general. That M badge. And I think this even stretches to some of the smaller M cars, the decision to move away from DCT to ZF in the new M3, M4 is almost entirely against the spirit of a raw sports car. Obviously, they've done that because they think that people are going to be cruising in it more, and the ZF, I guess it's a better kind of Grand Tourer box, let's say. But yeah, I don't know, for me, just odd decisions. If Porsche next week got rid of the PDK and put in a ZF 8-speed, I think people would be having things to say about that. Okay, so the move to electric. I don't think I personally own an electric car for the foreseeable future. I think for me, what I get out of cars is the engagement, it's the sound, the manual box. I don't even think I'd own an auto necessarily, as a second car right now. I think I'd only really own a manual. And I think that's maybe more of who I am and where I'm at in my life more than anything else, but I'm not against electric cars. I think when they reach the point of engagement that I can experience right now in my Porsche Cayman, once electric cars get to that point, I have no problem doing that. But the way BMW has gone round pushing electric cars, it doesn't feel necessarily like a car company. They feel more like a tech company. Micro transactions. So I'm not going to delve on this for too long, but I'm sure all of you guys have heard about the fiasco recently surrounding the heated seat. Essentially, BMW are allowing you to pay a subscription, and then with that, they would unlock features that you already own within your car. I honestly never thought I'd see the day where microtransactions make their way into cars. It just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. Car companies are typically known for giving you everything in one, and when we live in a world of everything going subscription based, BMW being the first company to do this actually makes me sick. I don't know, it just gives me really bad vibes. This is something I would see Elon doing, not BMW. And I think they're going where the money is, aka Instagram models and Bitcoin bros. So the death of the kidney grill is actually something which really upsets me. I think this is more than just a design statement. Like, again, with a lot of the things I've talked about in this video, I think it's a signal of intent. And before all you smart asses in the comments are like, I use vertical grills in the 30s, I don't want to hear it. I don't mean to shit on those cars back then, but like, you know, if you're marketing cars in 2022, maybe using your heritage from the 30s isn't a great idea. I think the death of the kidney grill is more than just a design statement. I think it kind of continues on this theme of BMW stepping away from what they once were. You know, they've gone all in. They've gone absolutely all in on these grills. But for me, the kidney grill, it's almost as iconic as, say, the 911's round headlights. And when Porsche went to those fried egg headlamps, and they got the huge backlash, you know what they did? They reversed it for the next generation of 911. Now, I know the situation is a little bit different, but this is their design language across how many cars? I'm going to put it up on the screen. Like, maybe, is there 8 or 9 different types of car they make? And they all have a weird grille. Sometimes not even cohesion between the different cars. And I would love for the BMW to prove me wrong, just like Chris Bangle did with the majority in the mid-2000s. Maybe they are a martyr for design. But, you know, it's been, what, like a year or two now? And, I don't know, I'm still not used to it. And that's not to say I don't like big grills, because I think Audi do really good big grills, and I think Rolls-Royce do really good grills, and I think, you know, there's a lot of companies that do really good grills, but BMW, again, it's a problem with the overall design. I hope BMW can prove me wrong either with time. I hope these designs can stand the test of time, and maybe in 10 years time, when everything has a grille the size of Nazareth, you will look back on BMW and we're like, oh, you know what? That M3, G80 M3 was actually hard. BMW and the whole brand in general has kind of shaped my taste in cars overall. I have a huge affinity for this brand, but it really does feel like they are abandoning the brand image they once had, and instead they're like cashing in on a tech-centered dystopian future where we all have to pay subscriptions to use a rev counter. Insert cash, select payment type.